Okay. Mhm. Fix
We are
my
like,
collar.
huh?
So let me fix my collar.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're the celebrity. Anything you do is still
Oh.
perfect. How you doing, sis?
I am blessed. How are you?
I am doing great.
Mhm.
I'm very excited to have you on here.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of you. The number one reason is you are one of the Liberians who has good thing going out here, and you
Thank you.
still want to go out there to promote Liberia. When we talk about somebody promoting Liberia, you are actually doing it. You're doing it on a big level.
Thank you.
Newton, if you can't hear us, get out of the studio and then come back.
I think you can hear us
Yeah,
now.
we can hear you. I think
He's muted.
you're muted. You're muted from your side. I know. I'm not seeing you. Yeah, I can't hear your audio. So, but anyway, while you are fixing that, we are gonna continue with the sister. Yeah, like I was saying, you are one of
Mhm.
those people that you are promoting Liberia big time on a big level, and I really appreciate you. I mean, today, guys, all of you that are watching, when I talk about promoting Liberia, she actually doing it. She's one
Mhm.
of the people behind the Liberian Music Award. She recently
Movie, the Liberia Movie Award.
Movie Award. Sorry,
Mhm.
Movies Award. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, no
She's
problem.
one of the people behind the culture thing you just hosted in Liberia. Hopefully,
Mhm.
you can talk about that. You
Mhm.
also support you're part of the Biocentennial. You guys did
Mhm.
that. You are one
Yeah.
of the person behind bringing people to Liberia, like
Mhm.
celebrity John Amos, Michael Blackson, all these celebrities. So I'm very happy to have you here today. Hopefully, a lot of people will be watching. All of you that are on Facebook, please share this live. If you're on YouTube, share it. We want a lot of people to know this sister and appreciate her.
Oh.
She's doing great stuff for Liberia. She's a superstar. I
Oh.
I have some of my big guns coming today
Mhm.
because I say, I can't handle the woman.
Yeah.
I can handle her by myself. But
That's
anyway,
funny.
how's everything going with you right now? How you feeling?
Great.
Okay.
Excited for 2024 and some good things coming soon
Yeah.
for Liberia. So I'm on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Some
I
good
know
things are
I
coming.
know you are also writer, producer. Can
Mhm.
you tell our viewer a little bit about you? Yeah, maybe something that you want to share. Maybe something you feel comfortable with.
Oh, okay. So overall,
Hmm.
I'm a philanthropist. I love giving back, whether it's through education, through movies, through excuse me, whatever platform. I just love to give back, and
Yeah.
my main focus is Liberia. I want to be able to say, okay, this is Liberia. This is what it looks like. These are the things that we do in Liberia. This is our culture. This is our history.
Yeah.
Imagine the uniqueness of who we are as a people. I like showcasing that.
Yeah.
I'm a college professor by trade, an educator. I taught for many years, public school system, the college level, all that good stuff. I'm also a writer, so I write children's books.
Yeah.
I write movies. I like to write social message movies. You know, things that really mean something to people, not just to be writing. I write specific films.
Wow.
Um, let me see what else. Okay, so and then when I write, I also produce. So I produce my own films, but then I produce
Mhm.
other people's films. I
Wow.
produce a few things here on Black Hollywood side, and I produced um, quite a bit for Nollywood USA.
Hmm. Yeah.
And things of that nature. But I've also done stage plays, and I love live productions. I really do. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff that I do in Liberia is live.
Yeah.
As you rightly said, we were part of the bicentennial, so we were the prelude. We did Year of the Diaspora, where we brought people from the diaspora who are of African descent to Liberia. People like John Amos, people like Michael Blackson, and some of the other folks. We brought them because we wanted to connect our people again with Liberia. We brought regular people too, who are not athletes and stars or what have you. We brought other
Yeah.
people that just really want to be one, and we had them, to take tours. We put tour packages together so they were able to tour and see and learn more about Liberia, because that's something a lot of people on this side of the world don't have. Like a lot of people who are African Americans may have heard of Liberia in passing, but they don't know much about the history. So I like to just educate people on the history of Liberia. before bringing them to Liberia. Then they get to see and make the connections, right?
Yeah.
So we take tours of Providence Baptist Church, Providence Island, all the unique places in Liberia. We go to the beaches, just so people can understand. We even have we took some of the people too, so they got to go to a cooking class where they learned to make a Liberian dish. A lot of the African American ladies love that. I think there was one occasion where they were also taken to the market to buy the food that they were going to prepare. They really like that. They really like that. And there was a lady in Liberia who did that for us. That was her portion of it, was to really show them how to cook the food. And then let's see what else. I mean, it was just a wonderful time because people got to experience our culture, got to see where we're from, So I was happy about that.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking this, and you don't always have to answer certain questions. I know the one thought in Liberia, a lot of people grew up different places. Where were you raised, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm asking that for a reason.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. I was raised here in America, right?
Okay.
Between Atlanta, Maryland, and New York. When I was a teenager, back in the 80s, the late 80s, I think it was like 87. I was a teenager. We went to Liberia. I was visiting, I fell in love with Liberia all over again. We ended up staying. We moved to Liberia in 87. At that point, I was a teenager. I was in high school and everything. But I had done my elementary, middle, and high school in America. I mean, elementary and middle school in America. Then high school, we went to Liberia. But then, of course, after being there for a while, the Civil War happened in 1990.
Yeah.
We were airlifted and brought back here. And then I finished, finished all of my schooling here. After that, I had not been to Liberia in many years because I was frustrated. My family was disrupted. I had cousins that were missing. My sister got left there. It was just a big mess. And we finally got my sister over here, which was great. But at that time, it was not a good situation. So after that, we did a film. And we needed to premiere the film, and we wanted to screen it in Liberia because the film was talking about PTSD, mental illness, which is something we as Africans don't talk much about. Remember, I told you a lot of my films are social message movies, right?
Yes.
So that was one of the social message movies was to talk to people about people who had gone through the Civil War about this thing called PTSD. How does it affect us? And then also to get a bill passed through the Senate that would take all of the mentally ill people off the street. In Liberia, I call them crazy people, but they actually, it's not really crazy people. That's a name for them. Yeah. So people who are having, some mental challenges, we were passing a bill to help get them off the street. So that was my goal for coming to Liberia after about 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to Liberia and I see everything is so different. I don't know what's going on. The roads have changed. People are on the streets like crazy, Traffic is ridiculous. When I left there, we didn't have all of that. So I said, whoa. And I saw the poverty. Yes, poverty is everywhere. Even in this great America, there's poverty.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. But I had not seen this kind of poverty like this in Liberia before. And my heart broke. And I said, I have to do something about this. I wanted to open schools, hospitals, everything that Liberia needed. Wow. I was like, if I could win the lottery, I would go to Liberia and do all these things. So I said, well, but I don't have all the money to do that. So I'm going to start small. So it was that shooting that movie and taking it to Liberia for a screening along with Julie Indy and Van Vicker. We all were in Liberia doing this screening of the film and talking before sending all that good stuff. It was wonderful. It was our way of giving back. And that's what started this whole chain reaction, coming to Liberia and being able to help people. So that's like my thing right now is to help people in Liberia.
I must ask though, the reason I asked you that question, a lot of people that were not raised in Liberia during the war, they come out here, their life is okay. They say, man, that country is dirty. I'm raised in America. I'm used to the environment. And, but what really inspired you as a person, even after you went to Liberia, you saw all of that, you still didn't give up. I'm going to bring my guests in if they have questions they can ask you, but I just want them to know you a little bit. Yeah. And but what inspired you? Why didn't you stop?
But you see, and that's the thing about me. My heart is for children. My heart is for people. So when I see something like that, like the poverty that I saw that I didn't see before when I lived in Liberia as a teenager, that was my inspiration. How can I walk away from something like this? I'm trying not to cry. I said to myself, how do I walk away? Had I not come to Liberia and seen that, maybe I would say, okay, I'll take my time and go. But once I hit the ground, once I saw the difference, once I saw the children asking me for money, through the car window.
Yeah.
I remember a situation where my mother and I drove to Bassa. We're coming back and she stopped at a market. I was sitting in the car. This beautiful little girl knocked on the window. She was selling candies and fish and some things in a little tray. And she asked me to purchase something. Right. And I said, well, I don't want any candy, but I'll just give you the money. I said, but what do you want me to buy for you? Do you know what she said? She said, I just want a copybook.
Oh,
My
wow.
heart broke into a million pieces. A copybook? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I said, a copybook? Most kids be like, I want $5, I want $10, I want ice cream, I want this. Because our spoiled children here, that's what they be asking for, right?
Yeah.
So this child is asking for a copybook. I said, how come? She said, oh, I'm starting school next week and I got no copybook. Oh, I just started crying in the car. I was looking for my wallet. I gave her some money to go buy a copybook. While I'm sitting there, she not tell her friends. So next thing I know, a mob of kids were coming to get their copybook money. But I say all of that to say it was just that kind of interaction, right?
Yeah.
With children. Because I work with children in America my entire life. I know how they are. I know the things that they desire. And I know it's not no copybook. It's usually something major, some Game Boy or something big. But this child only wanted that. And that touched me. Like, wow, the simplicity. These kids have nothing, but they're so happy. Her smile was bright. Her personality was great. And all the kids that came around, all of them were selling in the market, but guess what? They were happy.
Yeah.
So, and so that was my inspiration. I said, oh, no, I have to do something about this.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I really appreciate you. I know I've been in the United, I think I've been living here for like 17 years now. And one thing I learned over time, there are some African, when they come here, they just forget about home and they don't want to do things. They are even ashamed of talking about where they are from. And for me, I don't mind. I'd say if you don't know where you're coming from, you'll never know where you're going. So everywhere I go, every studio, everybody knows me as the Liberian. Even when I became Liberian American, I still, everywhere I go, I just say I'm Liberian. You always talking about Liberia. You're going to different country promoting Liberia. Some people, like I was saying, some people will be embarrassed about their background. Why give you the courage to say, why? That's my country. For me, I always have my saying. If you don't know where you're coming from, you will not know where you're going. But what was the other thing that kept you saying, I want to represent my country?
Liberia has always had a special place in my heart. Even though, like I said, I came here in elementary school. I did elementary, middle school here. Then I went to Liberia for high school. Then I didn't spend much time there with high school because war happened. We came back here again. So, of course, America is my second home. But there's a special something that I feel when I land at Roberts International Airport. I remember when I was a teenager and I went back to Liberia for the first time, the drive from the airport into town with all those light poles hanging over, the road. There was a peace, a certain calmness that I feel when I'm in Liberia, even though it can get chaotic with the traffic and all of that, but there's something that just says, I'm home.
Yeah.
I am home. I love that about Liberia. I love its people. I completely adore its children. Let me tell you, and so that's what keeps me coming back. I remember several times in the car with my mother, she has a little driver friend that helps her out. We kept driving to town for some business I was on, and I kept seeing children just walking on the road. It was pouring down rain. They were walking in sunlight. They're walking. And I said, where are these children going to? He said, oh, they're going to school. So I look around. I said, school? Where? There's no school here for miles. I said, how? So they walk to school? Like, how long does that take? He said, 45 minutes to an hour. I said, oh, no, absolutely not. So when I came back to America, I told my kids and I told my husband, my family, I said, we need to help the kids in Liberia.
Yeah.
Clear a little bit of the accounts, went back to Liberia. We built a school from scratch that we blessed the community with. So now there's a community school there. If I show you a picture of that school, you will not believe the school is in Liberia. Everybody say, oh, where's that school located? Blah, 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 blah. I said, just because these kids don't have money does not mean they shouldn't learn and have the best. I train those teachers myself because I want them to instill in those kids the same thing that I instilled in my kids here. So even I have a school in America, and my school raised funds. We had a whole big thing. I said, the winner will get a pizza party. We're going to raise money for the children of Liberia. I said, so let's begin. So my kids were able to raise enough money to sponsor 4 children at the school in Liberia. So when I talk promotion, I'm not just promoting just Liberia. I'm promoting the school, the this, the that, anything that can be of help or of service to Liberia is what we need to be promoting. If
Yeah,
each of us think about it, if each of us was doing something like that in our field, go and promote clinics, go and promote schools, go and promote filmmaking, go and promote this, what. Imagine if all of us in the diaspora were doing that, Liberia would be further ahead.
yeah.
We would
Um,
be further ahead.
Thank you so much. I think I'm having fun already having you on the show. I always like to see like-minded Liberian like myself,
Mhm.
like Newton Bowie, like my sister Faith, and
Mhm.
that Mr. Prince Sagba. He's my brother, by the way.
Ah,
But
hello.
let me introduce my guest. Let me
Yes.
introduce my guest again to all the hosts that just getting in and that just
Mhm.
coming, my co-host and the viewers. My guest is the writer, producer. She's one of the powerful people behind taking people to Liberia and all the events promoting Liberia, not just in Liberia,
Mhm.
but around the world. I'm a big fan of Dr. Kulah. I know some of you are just joining. If you have question, ask appropriate question. No too much politics here. Especially I'm a big fan of her. So if you try to do that nonsense, I'll hide the comment. Um, but this is Newton Bowie. I always say he
Hello.
owns half of Utah because he has a restaurant there. He got bar. He got all these things going there. He
Mhm.
owns some part of here. Friend, they are fighting over Liberia. He's
Oh, please, no.
We're in the club.
one of them is the Jeff Bezos. I don't want to call somebody named the Jeff Bezos of Liberia,
I
but then
think
you have
it's Newton because I mean,
yeah.
um,
All right, then you are the Donald Trump of Liberia, so we can end the whole thing. Then
That's
we
funny.
have my sister Faith. She also owns half of Philadelphia. She's a
Okay.
fashion designer. She has her own catering company
Nice.
there, and she and her partner, who's my new best friend too.
Mhm.
Mr. Prince Agbat. Well, this guy and I, we came to the United States. We went to film school together, and so he's one of the best person to talk to my sister here.
Mhm.
But I always said that he tried to blackmail me to get on this show. Sometimes he'll say, I know we lived together for 8 years as a roommate. If you don't get me on the show, I will tell the people, oh, that small thing you used to do. So I had to bring him on the show. But
Mhm.
praying, Newton, my sister Faith, this is our sister. I've been talking to her. If you guys have any question, you can jump in and ask questions. She's a producer. She's always promoting Liberia. There are more things I'm going to ask her. If you haven't found something yet, I'm going to ask her some things so you get an idea who she.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
uh,
thank you. I think, Prince, you just come in, so hold on. You just showed up. You were late. You were late. You
okay,
have to pay.
sir.
You have to pay fine here. So anytime you late, you have to pay fine. But anyway, joke aside, I'm very happy, Dr. Kula, to meet you.
Thank you.
Prince,
Same
I
here.
hear a lot of good things about you.
Thank
I'm
you.
always excited to see people so proud to be Liberia from Liberia and to
Mhm.
promote their country. And we've been on the show with Jefferson, just talking to a lot of great people who have the enthusiasm to go back to Liberia and make a huge difference in their life. I always say maybe you can do a film for me. When I talk, I always tell people I was 10 years old when I ran away from Liberia from the Civil War, live in Sierra Leone with no mother, no father, brothers and sisters. But what always used to keep me going is like, where I came from. It's like where I come from. So my common saying on this show is, what can we do for Liberia, not Liberia, what Liberia can do for us, right? It's what I
That's it.
say. Yes, it's what I always say because
Me
we
too.
want to go back, we want to be part of politics, we don't want to
Mm.
make a difference. They're a kid on the street. When I went back, I saw my first time going back to Liberia was 2010. And when I saw that, there were just a lot of kids that wanted to go to school. The
Mhm.
private school were more expensive. The government school was not,
I'm telling
so
you.
those things just it
Mhm.
just broke my heart. But I just want to ask, with all these things you're doing, I know you talk about the motivation to go back. When you went back, you were a little kid and you came back. How do you um how do you put all this together? sometimes seeing things is different, right? You can go see stuff, you see how people going through, and then you come back and then you sit back. What was the I always say, what was the main motivation factor? Like you saw how the place was, this kid came to you, but then I'm sure there were a lot of people that you reach out to, you talk to some people and stuff. How do you start this whole thing, of taking people? And I'm grateful that you the social thing is important because I got my master's in criminal justice and social work. I work as a program director here for South Valley Services.
Nice.
And I always say, like, Liberia, we have the Ministry of Gender. We don't have the Ministry of Social Services in Liberia.
Okay.
Social services is a very important part of in any country.
You're preaching to the choir.
Everybody, every school should have a school social worker.
Thank you.
Every ministry should have a social worker. So I went there and I spoke at the University of Liberia. I spoke at the AMEU doing their social work there. And it's just a passion thing to me that I hope one of these days they will have the right people, because the Ministry of Gender, I mean, this is not politics, but it will not be able to reach out, solve the social services issues like in Liberia, until we have a social work, a social services director that will be able to put these things together. We'll still be behind. But talking about all this stuff, and you look at all those stuff, and that's why you put your movie towards that. And I hope a lot of people can do that, because not the awareness in Liberia is very little.
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that people don't know that we need to. So how do you put all this together? How do you bring all this together? And I know you're a mom, you're a teacher.
Everything.
How do you put all this stuff together?
Well, so I knew when I went to Liberia that I really wanted to help, right? But I couldn't just decide on one area of help. You get what I'm saying? Because I saw so much there and so much need. And I said, no, can't just do one. So, for example, my mother has an airlifting business. It's called HealthPage Liberia, Inc. I'm the U.S. representative. So we airlift children from Liberia and bring them to America and other countries to have surgery. These are kids who parents don't have the money for them to afford surgery. And we bring them to America. Ronald McDonald House helps us. We have a few people that help sponsor the plane tickets to get the children here. After surgery, they either stay at the Ronald McDonald House, or we find a family to put them with, or sometimes they stay with me and my family in our home. And it was really weird because now my daughter, who has always said she's going to be a dancer on Broadway, decided she wanted to be a medical doctor after she saw one of the kids that came, the surgery that was done with him and how it made him feel better. So I'm saying that to say when you see a need, you have to try to fill that need, right? So it may be today you see children who are medically ill, you say, oh, we need to help there. You may see there are no schools in this area, we need to put one here. There's no arts program. So like at my school, we have an arts program. I built a dance floor there so the kids get to dance. In fact, in February when I go, after I leave Qatar and I go to Liberia, we're bringing a tap dancer. He's going to introduce the kids to tap dancing, which, many kids don't know about that. So it's going to be a very fun time for these young people. They get to see something different, something unique. Yeah. So we try to do the arts. We try to do many things. And then I looked at the filmmaking because, I was already shooting films here in the States and doing production. So I looked at filmmaking there. We met with the president of the film union and we said, okay, we want to do certain things here to help out. We even shot a film. We took Roger Bob. I know you know Roger Bob. He used to be Tyler Perry's what do you call it? Executive director. He ran the studio basically. Yeah. And when you watch Tyler Perry shows, you'll see his name there in the credits. Yeah. He did most of the films. So we took him with us to Liberia. He directed a film for us called Providence. In Liberia, we had Lisa Wu, we had Dimitri McKinney. We all flew to Liberia and we shot the movie there. They loved it. It was their first time in Africa. Yeah. And it was Liberia, right? So I was glad we were able to do that. And then we had one guy who came here, I think he was a year old. He was able to go back with us as well to see Liberia because if you come here as a 1-year-old, you're practically a baby. So you don't remember. So it was so wonderful for him. The stories he told when he came back, not just him, but Lisa Wu and all the other people that went with us on the trip. Even Roger Bob, he said, Dr. Kulah, this was the most amazing thing. We even gave him a name that we took him to the beach. The local people, the chiefs came, they gowned him, gave him the cola nuts. He was so amazed. He said, this is so cool. But a lot of people don't get that. So what I wanted to do, I said, I want to continue bringing people to Liberia so they can see what's here. There will be 1 or 2 people that will come back and say, let me help out.
Yes.
And I remember when we finished filming, well, not the total film, but when we finished Lisa Wu and Dimitri Bikini scenes, they had to come back to America. And that day, all the people that were on set, those girls gave an envelope to each of them,
Yeah.
just to show their appreciation. And I really like that because people are just people, right?
Yeah.
No matter where they are. And African Americans, especially, who may not know all of their roots, when they get to a place like Liberia, that you see people that look like you, right?
Yes.
You can't help but want to be a part of that. And then you
Yes.
hear the history of how some of your people actually went there. It's amazing. I remember we were filming in the movie, Lisa Wu gave birth to a baby. So she gave birth to this baby. The baby came from an orphanage. She wanted to adopt the baby and bring the baby back to America. She was in love with this baby. It was the cutest thing. And every time she asked me, how is the baby doing? I said, oh, the baby's with the baby's mom now. But at the time, the baby was in an orphanage. So you see, you have a lot of people who go and they see a need and they want to help out. The more people we bring to Liberia, whether we bring them for investment opportunities, whether we bring them to help with the schools, whether we bring them to help do teachers training, because I also do teachers training program along with some friends, Corporate Law Guy and a few other people. We get together and we train teachers. Debbie Scott is on ground. She helps to train. We trained the last time at LU. We've trained at many different places around. But the goal is to make sure that teachers are going in the classroom ready because we want the kids to learn. Yeah. So again, it's hard to pinpoint one. So that's why wherever I can help, I make sure I help in those areas. So now for filmmaking, we Sakar and Dentud are two African-American guys that live on ground in Liberia. So we got together, we decided we were going to do a film festival. So we did the first year of the festival. Then last year we did the second year of the festival. And then we introduced the awards portion of it. So we had an awards ceremony because a lot of filmmakers had not been appreciated. And we felt like there was a need to appreciate them with this festival, right? So in the film festival, we have a filmmakers workshop where they get to come and learn about filmmaking and all of that. But before the workshop, we had an opportunity to interview John Amos and Lou Gasser Jr. Lou is like my uncle.
In case you guys don't know, in case you guys that are watching don't know John Amos, the guy
coming to America.
Coming to America, the Eddie Murphy, the girl Eddie Murphy wanted. His father.
And
good times.
And actually John Amos was the first. He was the first African American TV dad. He was the first one that we had on TV that was playing a father. And then Lou Gossett Jr. is what we call a triple threat. He has won the Oscar, the Emmy, and what's the other one? The Golden Globe Award. He's a very popular actor here, actor here in the States. So those two guys served as two of our judges last year. We had other judges, but they were the two prominent judges that we had with us. And they got to come on the screen and talk to the young people in one of our programs. So I'm saying that to say, however we can give back, because Lou Gossett Jr. is, every time he calls me, he says, Dr. Kulah, when do you take me to Liberia? I told you, I want to be there teaching this year. I don't want to just do it from the screen. I want to be at the festival. So we're thinking of ways down to how do we get him down to the festival. You know, he's a little bit older now, but he still wants to go. So we're trying to figure that out because my goal is to bring people who can help out. So if these guys come in to help with the film industry, you know what I'm saying? We've got somebody there. We bring teachers to help with the education. We've got people there. We bring social workers to help with getting social services because we don't have a social service department, so to speak. But like you rightly said, every school needs to have some type of social service. Children need to be able to come to school. If they're frustrated, they need to be able to talk to people and say, hey, I'm frustrated. Because we don't have those services. You know, my mother's a social worker herself by trade. So she tries to speak with the kids. When I go, I speak to the children as well. And another thing that I do in my books, a lot of my books speak to that. Like I have one book, I think it's called God Gave Me Feelings. And in that book, we explore feelings because that's something I feel like we as Africans don't talk about. You know, we don't talk about our emotions. Children are angry. They should be allowed to say, hey, man, I'm angry. Yeah. Right?
If you do that, that's rude, though. You know, I'm just saying that the African way.
They don't want to spank you. But I tell children, whatever is wrong with you, feel open enough to where you can come to me and say, hey, I feel angry or I feel upset or I'm sad. So the book addresses all of those issues. And the pictures are beautifully done by Banky. He lives in Liberia. He's a young guy. He's an illustrator. And I wanted to make sure that I printed the books in Liberia. I illustrated the books in Liberia, all of that. Because, again, we need to give back to those Liberian businesses. So my goal is any area where I know I have some type of expertise or I can do something, I'm going to do it. So in the area of tourism, my cousin Hester Baker and I, we get together and we put our little trips together and we bring people. Like right now, the trip we're taking to
Yeah,
Qatar.
it's about our Dr. Ashu.
Yeah. When we go to Qatar, we'll be representing Liberia at a tourism expo.
Yeah.
So it's going to be amazing. We're doing a stage production, which I'll be directing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we get to talk about Liberia. She's going to have a pavilion set up where we have all of these Liberian products. Liberia used to make a coffee. People don't even know about that. The coffee plant grows in Liberia. So we need to talk about these things. People need to know there's more to Liberia than just civil war. There's more to Liberia than just Ebola, right? There's far more. You need to talk about our natural resources. You need to talk about, what is this place? Chimpanzee Island. We need to talk about where we can go surfing.
Blue Lake. Yeah.
We could talk about the Blue Lake too. Yes. The Nimba Mountain.
Yeah.
I went camping on the Nimba Mountain. I do not sleep outside. That was my first time ever sleeping outside. We slept on the top of the Nimba Mountain. It was beautiful. And in the morning we got up, we could see 3 countries. We could see Ivory Coast. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when you package that into a tour, you take people, the sky's the limit. I had a very young African-American guy that I brought recently. He wanted to find his roots. So we brought him. Now he wants to move to Liberia. Can you believe it? He had never left America to go to Africa before. It was his first time. He fell in love with Liberia and he wants to move there. We took him. What is this place? Where we surf. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh man, great surfing waters. We got a chance to surf.
Robert's Port.
Robert's Port, yes. We stayed at Nana's Lodge, and we got a chance to take classes from the young people in the town. They put packages together to tour of a little tour where you can even learn to surf. They bring out their surfing boards and they put us on it. It was just wonderful to see that. If you harness that into a fabulous tour, you can bring a lot of people. Same thing in Edina. We did the same thing in Edina. We visited the old Methodist church. We visited the Baptist church. We took a tour of President Cheeseman's old house. We went to Bob Gray Monument. We did a lot of things there. All of that constitute a tour. So again, any area where you are good and you can make a difference, let's make a difference. Yeah. Right? When the president won, a friend of mine connected us. We were talking on the phone. The current president Boycott, and the first thing he said, we need you guys to come home to Liberia. Let's build a strong private sector. And that really touched me because we need to do that. Everybody can't work for government. Yeah. Right? No. So we need to build a stronger private sector. You offer jobs to many people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You need a leader that think that too, though. You need somebody that will think that, to say, okay, I'm in power now, but this is what will help my administration. This is what will help the country. So it was a good thing that he said that.
Hello? Yeah, so those are the things that we need to do.
But when I was saying that this sister promoting Liberia, I think as you were watching the show, she actually promote Liberia. Like she was just talking about going to Qatar. Qatar is where they host the World Cup recently, I think that was the last World Cup. And she is going there to promote Liberia. So she's not somebody who just said, oh, I'm promoting Liberia by just posting a few pictures. She actually promoting Liberia. She's going out there showing people Liberia. This is what's good for Liberia. I wanted to ask you a question. All these people, these celebrities that you took to Liberia the last time, how do you manage that? Because these are top guys. You were even able to get Vivica A. Fox, that girl. She's a big actress into the movie, even though she didn't go to Liberia. But
she didn't go to Liberia. We shot her scenes here. Well, Vivica is a friend. So, I told her, I said, oh, Vivica, I really need you to play the grandma in this movie. Like, all right, let's see the script. So I sent it to her. She said, oh, this is cool. And she too was learning about Liberia for the first time. She was like, what? Yeah. Girl, stop. I said, yeah, it's an actual place. I told her all about it. She just got really excited. And, perhaps one day she'll go and visit, my other friend, Lisa Ray McCoy, she and I were talking about it. Lisa said she wants to go to Liberia one day too, eventually. So there are a lot of people who, when you tell them the story of Liberia, they're actually interested in going. I'm just waiting to see when we can get a direct flight to Liberia where plane tickets are a little bit cheaper. And we don't have to go through Timbuktu in the whole world to get to Liberia. Once we can get some of those things solidified, get the airport up and moving the way it should, I think you'll see an influx of people. And in this year, Hessa and I are planning bringing more people to Liberia. And I'm talking a lot of people. So we're not just sitting around twirling our thumbs. The goal is you can't just talk about something, you have to do. So we want to bring more people there that can see Liberia and be like, oh, let me go back home and tell this person about Liberia. You know,
more people, including myself, because I have been invited by my friend there. But yeah, but we do you want to? I know I brought my sister here too, because I say she's a very strong female like yourself, so I would love for you to come on this show to be my co-host. And I know you've been sitting there, Faith. Do you have something to ask my sister? I just don't want all these guys to be asking questions about you. For me, I believe in women empowerment.
It's okay, Prince will be the last. Don't waste your time.
That's my Alana sister you're talking to. So
I know, right? And please, I meant to ask you, what part of town do you live in?
I live in Stone Mountain right now.
Okay, okay. I'm in Selma, so it's not too far from you.
It's in where all the billionaires live.
Look,
Yeah.
We live in Buckhead, Jefferson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dr. Kulah, thank you so much.
Oh,
I'm just so intrigued by all the things that you do, because it takes grace to do all that. It takes heart, not just the mouth. It's not just talking, but you actually hands on. And that is so awesome. I'm learning as you're speaking. I'm learning things of my own country that I didn't even know about. So
a lot of times, a lot of people say that.
Education is so important. And Mr. Newton always say that. And I think what you're doing is so great. It's so awesome. And one of the things you say is that we should all put our hands to the plow and get the work done. Wherever area you are good in, you should be able to, apply your knowledge and help the country. And it was so awesome to have the president say that, like Prince, Jefferson said, because we do need a lot of private sector. And hearing that our country does not even have social service in the schools. Even though I went to school in Liberia, I was a little girl. I left since I was 14. And yes, now I can recall that we never had this office that we could go to and say, you know what, such and such is going on at home. Whereas here I had my social service. I had someone you could confide in and feel safe. That, this is not going to leave this area. This is
exactly.
Because like Jefferson said, when you go and say, oh, mommy, what you did in our culture, I don't know now. You'll get thinking.
But true. Yes.
And I have 3 girls thus far, and my elder one and I, we have our time where we talk, because in our home we have a policy where we bring things to the table. When something's going on, she will ask me, "Mommy, do you have time? Can you spare 5 minutes?" And we'll literally go in our corner. I'm like, "Do you want Dad to be there?" She'll be like, "Oh, no, I just want to talk to you." And we'll go ahead, we'll talk, whatever we need to do, we do right there. And it's done. And I think that is really needed in our culture back home. A lot of children are passing around carrying so much load, so much baggages, And one of the places that I think that needs help too is the health sector.
My God.
For me, that's mine. Because I'm also in the health care area apart from my business, and I really do think Liberia need help in a health area, because most of the time when I hear people talking, they went to the hospital, like recently a young lady just died, and it really kind of touched me, because she had, now going a little bit private, I had C-section with my 3 kids, and I know how that hurts. I know how that hurts, and you need a lot of care. So just hearing, even being in the States and going through that pain, what about someone there that does not have the care, the proper care, I should say, to care for that wound, because it is a wound that you come in home with, a big wound.
Trust me, I got my own.
Well, thank God, at least you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a big wound, and
Yes.
this lady, she had operation, and I'm like on the phone, and she went home. Oh my goodness! And the soul started to ooze, and the
Mm-hmm.
call where, oh, it's leaking. I'm like, how is it leaking?
Yeah.
I'm like, she's not even supposed to be home if
Right.
it's doing that. She's supposed to go
Mm-hmm.
back to the
Yep.
emergency room. And my mom sometimes she be like, what are you thinking? I'm like, Mom,
You're not in Liberia, my friend.
she be like, you
Yeah.
girl, what you did your TB doing? I'm not mom, but
Mhm.
sadly to say she lost her life.
Yeah.
And but I'm here, I'm ready to help whatever way
Mhm.
to help in the nursing area because I see there's a lot of needs. People
Right.
have to buy their own medicine. People have to buy their own. Sometimes they be like, oh, we got to buy a towel. We got to carry tissue. Guys said, what are you going to the hospital for? Because if you got to carry everything,
Mhm.
some
You
people,
know, yeah, and it's so funny because they are you and I tell people I have a nonprofit. I have a couple of nonprofits, but you can create your own nonprofit right here. I'm just saying to Sister Faith, you can create your own
Mhm.
nonprofit right here, right? And say your nonprofit was interested in providing toiletries for women who go into the hospital. Maybe you
Yeah.
work something out with JFK. You go, you say, okay, I would like to be able to help. Okay, but
Okay.
making sure you guys actually give the materials to the people
Yeah.
and not somebody use it. But I would like to be able to bless this hospital with
Yes.
each month or once a year with tissue
Yes.
or sanitary napkins for the women or something in labor and delivery or
Right.
something in this area. Like I
Right.
said, anything that we can do, it
Oh,
helps out. But that
okay.
would be a blessing because again, I can't be looking for my own tissue, or looking for but
You
it
got
does
to get
happen
your
in
own
some places. They
pads
look for
and
your own
everything.
tablets and everything. Yeah. So
Mhm.
every little bit helps. And
I
I know there are places here in American organizations that would probably love to partner and do something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So you
yeah,
might
Thank
want to look
you.
into that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thank
I,
you.
yeah,
Definitely.
I recently saw a documentary on the TB enders
Mhm.
hospital in Liberia, the TB ender where they have the people with TB, and
Yeah.
I think it was small TV, and they were showing like the beds and stuff, and it was
Mm.
really really sad. So I reached
Yeah.
to one of my guy here for us to raise some money and see if we can buy some mattresses and
Mhm.
take it to Liberia
There
and
you go.
so the other thing would be, doing these things are great, but it's the people who are in charge of
Receiving it.
getting those
Okay.
things. So
Yeah.
it's just like, one of the best country in Africa is Botswana. I lived in
Mhm.
Botswana for 3 months before I came to the United States. They send their students outside to go and study, and then they bring them back and they give them job. The
There you
Mhm.
question
go.
is that those scholarships in Liberia are being given to people who children already get money, and they're not
Mm.
giving it to the people, children who really needed to go
Yeah.
out to study to
Mhm.
take care of that. So those are some of the difficult things sometimes when you want to
Mhm.
help, it can
Yeah.
hold you back because you say, okay, if I go and give 100 mattresses, because the story we're hearing when I got there, I'm going to be there in March next month. I'm taking my family and my daughters to go see Liberia for the
Is it
first.
their first time?
Yes, yes, yes,
They will love it. They'll be coming, but my kids want to go every 2 seconds now.
yes. So
Yeah.
I'm taking that because every day they're talking about, Daddy, the flies is too much. The spider, I don't want this. I don't want to eat this.
Spider, oh please,
Let me
they
take
will
you
see
so you
that.
can go see where I come from. Then
Yeah,
you know
That
where I'm talking
that's
about.
the best
So
way to do it. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
so
My kids are. And here's the funny thing, right? When you spend so much as we do in our house talking about Liberia, I think the children feel like they've already been there. They know the place. So
Yeah.
like
Oh,
when my children went to Liberia for the first time, it was like they were no stranger to the
Yeah.
place. They embraced everything, the traffic, the this, the that. Even Monrovia at the time was a little on the dirty side. They didn't care about
Yeah.
all of that. They saw it, it was just like, okay,
Mhm.
like it just kept going. But they
I-
love Liberia. My daughter at her school, she would have African things. She would bring her Liberian flag, put it on. She and my son both. They wear. If I send you pictures of my kids, you can't believe it. My daughter cooks fufu and soup. She cooks Liberian food in her room and be given it to the American children. Oh yeah, all our friends eat it. The Caucasian kids, the African American kids, the island kids, all of them eat the food. But my children are very well versed in
oh,
Liberia, so Liberia is their thing. It's
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
music, the food, the children graduation party. What music did I hear them when it was something to come in? Jordan, what's that song? Uh, they were doing a Liberian song. I could not believe it. The zombie dance. I was like,
Oh,
oh
zombie. Yeah.
yeah, the money dance was the zombie dance. I said, Are these children?
Came into our bar Friday.
Oh yes, I will balling from them, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's Skinny Papanto.
I didn't even know the song. I've only heard it like once, and that's what they had selected. I said, "But where is children getting all this music from?" But they go out on their own and they find their stuff. So once your children go, trust me, they will come out with a new attitude. But my kids were already like that before they left, so when they came back, it was even double, double. My son, you say, "When are we going back again?" They've already been there twice, so and they want to go again. Oh yeah, they already been there twice, and so they're supposed to go again. The end of this year, they'll go again.
Yeah.
So it's just explosion. Once your kids hit that Monrovia soil, they will feel at home. Trust me.
Yeah. I think you're doing the right thing. Let me, Mr. Prince Sakba here. I know this man a big man. Let me give him a chance to come in. I don't want him to say, you dragged me out of my business schedule and you brought me on the show. You didn't even make me say one thing. So, Mr. Prince Sakba.
My man, you scared of Prince, oh.
I'm trying to. No. Pray we are.
I'll keep talking. Prince want to jump in. Prince will jump in.
That a big brother.
Nice to Prince. Yeah, we're having a conversation here.
Look, guys.
Nice.
Don't put a man in trouble. Don't put a man in trouble.
The guy and we lived together for a long time. He got some dirt on me to bury me, so I had to really treat him nice.
I can see that.
And now I work with the paparazzi, so I'm trying to be careful. In local news, his own brother said this.
Dr. Kulah, it's nice to meet you again. I know we spoke once, and ever since I've really been following your work. And I didn't bother to call back because I've been thinking how she managed everything. 1 minute you are promoting events in Atlanta here, another minute you're talking about events in Liberia, you're talking about movies, you're talking about business, traveling here and there. So I asked, school.
That was my question. That was my question to her.
Yeah. So I was speaking to someone the last time, and I mentioned, I said, they said, Dr. Kulah, you know Dr. Kulah? I said, yeah. Well, I spoke to her once and said, yeah, that woman very busy. So you are lucky to even get her on the phone that day. But the work you are doing in Liberia is amazing.
Thank you.
I just want to give you the applause and say keep up the good work. When I heard you were also in the Basatena, I was really excited about that. And I know we talked briefly, but I mentioned working. I mean, I'm on the digital side.
You are.
So I'm always here whenever you think about, something on the digital side, your organization, your network, or something in Liberia need, and you want to collaborate, partnership, please reach out to me.
I sure will.
And I'm really excited to hear, the president. Yeah, it's not.
He said that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because I've been following very closely at other meetings. Whenever he's meeting people, he's encouraging people to come to Liberia and invest.
Yes.
So to say that, is we are all. I'm hoping to go back. Go there and really set up my office and other things.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of people are doing that right now. A lot of friends that I know are setting up their office. This is the time, to do that. I mean, Liberia have so many things that we're in need of.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we bring all our expertise together. The sky will be the limit. Yeah. Honestly.
So my question, the Basatena, it was something that should have been bigger and better if the support was there. But I don't know if you already talked about it, but is there something in the work with the new administration to extend the Basatena?
There's still some talks behind the scenes, some things that we want to do. So be looking out for some information concerning this December. Okay. So with the bicentennial, the goal was to bring so many people. But sometimes the governments get involved, people shy away, that kind of stuff. So for this year, we're talking to some people. There's the tourism ministry is under the Ministry of Information. tourism, cultural affairs, yada yada yada. So I don't know if you listened to the president's address where he said they're going to remove it. So
Yes.
tourism and cultural affairs would be a separate ministry. So
Yeah.
that is going to make it something, you know, even bigger and giving more opportunities for us to do what we're trying to do. So there will be a repeat of what we started. uh, uh, when the bicentennial was taking place, the goal is to bring as many people as we can get into Liberia. We're talking to some of the D9s, like the Alphas, the Kappas, all of the, those teams. We want to talk with those people, the AKAs, which my daughter is one. She's over here doing her thing. The AKAs, all those different young people from colleges. My goal this year is to bring a lot of the college students as well to be able to experience that. Yeah. Right. So we're going to start this process where they can start putting the little monies together if they want to take the trip. We just want people to come and see, because your millennials who are now making money.
Yes.
They have good jobs. They're looking for retirement already. Some of them are like, I want to invest in Africa. So I say to them, why not Liberia? And let me tell you something about Liberia that I love. Liberia is the only country, okay, that has a clear path to citizenship. As long as you're a person of African descent, you can become a citizen in Liberia. You don't have to marry anybody. You don't have to do anything.
Wow.
Is that based on the new law, right? The new law.
It's gonna forever.
So my wife, I didn't know that.
So let me tell you how it works. Let me tell you how it works. So in the Constitution, well, when Liberia was put together, if you would, so to speak, when they drew up the Constitution, all that good stuff. Of course, the African Americans were coming from this side where there was slavery being abolished. There were a lot of ill treatment, so they didn't want to be recaptured. They didn't want similar things to begin to happen over there. So when they wrote it up, a lot of the things said that as long as you're African descent, blah 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 blah, meaning if you're a black person. So what happens with that? Say I came into Liberia, I'm an African American. I just came to Liberia. I could be in Liberia for a month's time, 3 weeks, a month's time, whatever it is. I can actually apply for what do you call that? Residency, which is like green card here, right?
Yeah.
So it's called residency. I can apply for residency. I get a few people to okay the document. I do my own paperwork. It's a little package. You fill out the application, you put it in. You're gonna get your residency. Unless you're some criminal from somewhere, they do a background check and find you're a criminal. But if you're not a criminal or anything like that, and you're just applying for residency, you can get residency. After you get the residency, and you wait 2 years, after 2 years, you apply for citizenship and you become a Liberian citizen. People don't know that, but that's how it works. It's in the Constitution. Oh, yes. It's in the Constitution. I've got a couple of people that were working through the process that are trying to move to Liberia. We don't talk about it. People are to Ghana and some other countries where they were promising land and all these different things. Liberia is also a country where, as long as you're a person of African descent, you can own land in Liberia.
You see,
a lot of people don't know that.
You see, my sister, this is the reason we don't talk about this kind of stuff, because everything is about politics.
Exactly.
In Liberia, even all the talk show, most of the talk show you see, they don't have the kind of discussion that we are having. It's more about why the other person do this, that other person do this, the other person for this party. It just over time, it's just getting worse, and that's one of the reasons why I say, you know why, I'm going to be going different direction. Let me bring people like Dr. Kulah, different people on the show, business people. There'll come a time we will have a show about what's going on in Liberia, but my main focus is to bring people like you on to talk about things. I'm learning a lot today.
Dr. Kulah, I just want to say thank you for mentioning that, because I was aware of African Americans having a straight path to citizenship in Liberia. I didn't know the process. I have a neighbor, an African American neighbor, who is always behind me. Hey man, so since he heard I had cocoa farm in Liberia, he always when will I go? When will you carry me to Liberia to buy my own land? I said, are you going to stay? And say, even if I'm not staying, I just want to buy land in the motherland. And from what you said, Liberia is so I think just hearing that, knowing that he can apply for residency and in 2 years' time become citizen is something I would love to explain to him, because you know, every time, the moment I bump into him, he's asking me, and
Mhm.
I always like, you know what, I want to find out more. I don't want to
Right.
just tell you, say, hey, go to
Mhm.
Liberia now, or do this,
Mhm.
go buy land. I don't know
Yeah.
much about it, so thank you
Mhm.
for that. I wish this
Wow.
kind of shows
Mhm.
shows that Liberian listening to, because
Yeah.
some people out there want to know these things,
Oh
you
yes.
know, and
Mhm.
the more we are educating each other, the better for
Mhm.
it.
Oh yeah.
Mine, and I know maybe you might not be in that area, but working with the in within the bicentennial, is there a talk for visa on arrival?
Are you kidding me? Y'all don't need to worry. Visa on arrival is coming. It's close to arrival. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yes, it will be. You know, we have a very smart foreign minister that just took office.
Mhm.
Trust and believe she will do something in that department because anybody who understands tourism understands that you definitely need visa on arrival.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we've been very blessed that some organizations who are able to get visa on arrival for their group of people, but it's such that you apply for it while you're abroad and then they send you the paper, you print it, and you bring it. However, most visa on arrivals take place when you get to the country. You can land
Yeah.
there and get the paperwork done. So all of that stuff is in the works, especially now that the tourism ministry will be coming away from information. It's going to be a standalone. So definitely, visa on arrival is coming down. It's
So
coming down the pipe.
So
yeah.
I think you also send that part is said maybe since you have I can say you're influential and I'm very happy to meet you and I will
No,
be
thank you.
happy
Same here.
to be your friend and
Thank
get
you.
to know all the stuff you do. I think
Mhm.
maybe it would be time too for us to work together to have a
Yes.
government of Liberia to have a social services
Oh yes.
department apart from gender ministry because I think
Mhm.
the social the social services would do a huge difference
Mhm.
in Liberia.
Oh, it
It
would.
would
It
it
would.
would it will have a great like
Mhm.
Jefferson was saying most of the time because of politics. Like my wife is from Mali, and
Okay.
we went to Mali. We're going to Liberia because I have a U.S. passport. They have to give me a visa in Abidjan, right at the airport. But you know, with Liberia, sometimes because of this, because of that, there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of
Mm.
that go on. But I think maybe because people like you that have those great influence and doing a lot of good things that I must have learned a lot of things today for Liberia that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Just just
I can teach you another one just now. Finish your
Now,
thoughts.
now,
So
now,
I heard you
I was
say
noticing
you
her the
use a
whole
different
time to
passport.
be
This one. I
on
can
the
tell you
show.
something.
you just
I
make
can
me
tell you
Yeah.
something that will freak your
I would
mind
love
out.
to.
I
I
can
would
tell you
love
something.
to. The next the
Yeah.
next film
Mhm.
festival. I would love to attend. You know, here in Utah, we have the Sundance Festival where
Oh, of
all
course. Are you kidding me? You know, the
American
festival there.
festival in Utah.
My
So
favorite.
anytime you're here and you come
Hmm.
here, don't hesitate to say, you know what, I have my
Okay.
brother in the town
Yeah.
and we'll
Hmm.
be able to take care of you and stuff and things like that. But I
Okay, we
think we
appreciate it.
need to
Yeah.
push those important issues that will
Hmm.
make our country
Yeah.
flexible for people
Yeah.
to be able to come. Like sometimes it's hard for people to do business in Liberia because of different
Yes.
things. Like I came on this show and I was telling these guys about my water business in Liberia, how the
Hmm.
plastic, there's only one company that produces the plastic and you have to buy it from that people and stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
think what is your message to people who trying to go back to Liberia to do businesses that want to tackle, like you will be able to tackle everything what you're doing to be able to multitask
Hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Not everybody would be able to do, everybody
Yeah.
have different talents and stuff. What
Hmm.
would be your advice to young Liberian who want to go into the film industry? Because sometimes people want to do these things, but they get discouraged by, oh, well, what play Labro film will go at? What play
It
the
coming.
person
It is going. You'd be
yeah,
surprised where
what
it's
play the
going.
person thing will do. But I would love
So
to attend the film
yeah.
festival sometime, and I think it's a great thing that you're doing to
Thank
educate
you.
our young people on different career path. You know,
Hmm.
in Africa, like I don't know some of you if you have Indian friends. I have a lot of Indian friends, and their
Hmm.
parents just taught them to be either a computer engineer, a
Ah.
doctor. Those are the
Hmm.
things that they
Yeah.
will do because of prestige. You know, they will say that. In Africa, sometimes it's the same thing. The parents want you to be a nurse, even though you have a skill to be a teacher. The parents want you want to be a doctor. The parents want you to be something else because
Hmm.
somebody was doing it. So I
Right.
Yeah.
think what you are doing is great. What would be your advice to those young, well, Nigerian male and female that will want to go into the film industry, study, get their education and stuff? What is your advice to them?
Well, two quick things, right? So I told you earlier, I said my daughter's in college now studying to be a doctor. Before she was going to be a doctor, since she was 2.5, she wanted to be a dancer. She was going to go to Juilliard, which is like the top school for performance people. And then she was going to be on Broadway and all of this. So come 10th, 11th grade rolls around, we had this kid that was sick that came to stay with us for his surgery and everything. And she saw the surgery that was done. And she was interested. And because of that, started her on a new path. But when she was talking about being a dancer, I'm not your typical Liberian parent who'd be like, oh, dancer, what are you gonna do with that one?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a typical. I believe in children being themselves, and I gave her a piece of advice. I said, just get something else to fall back on, just in case it doesn't work out, because many people are dancers, many are musicians, many are all these things, but always get something to fall back on. So what I tell the young people in Liberia who are interested in filmmaking, which I'll be discussing, we're having a filmmaker mixer for the young people on the 2nd of March. So at that filmmaker workshop, those are some things we'll be talking about.
Is it in Liberia?
In Liberia, oh yeah. I'll be in Liberia then. I'm leaving to come back on the 3rd of March. Yeah. So I leave this Sunday for Qatar. I spend 3 days there, and then I go to Liberia. We have a filmmakers workshop. And at that filmmakers workshop, we talk about the film festival, how for the new filmmakers, how to enter. The people who have done it before already know. So we go over, different things. We want people to understand, if you're going to go into filmmaking, understand that initially maybe you will make a lot of money because it's still virgin territory. It's still built. We're still trying to build that industry there. But you can still try to make some money with your movies. You can put it on YouTube. You can do different things. So some of our filmmakers still have their regular job, and then they film on the weekends, So you just have to find a schedule that works for you. You can film on the weekends. You can film in the evenings, however you want to do it. Now, for this year, the winner of the film festival, we're trying to see how we can get some type of distribution for them here in the States, whether it be on Tubi, whether it be on a YouTube TV channel, something that will put their work outside of Liberia for other people to see. So those are the kind of things that we're working on. But again, for the young filmmakers, I tell them, get something to fall back on, study. The Bible says study to show yourself approved, right? So if you're going to be good at something, you got to hone your craft. You're going to have to study. Take your time. Even if you don't have all the formal education you need for film, there are so many videos on YouTube, so many things that you can do to keep yourself going. And then when we do the what do you call it? The film festival, we have a full-day workshop. And in that workshop, we have somebody that teaches acting. We have somebody that teaches producing, writing, cinematography. And with the cinematographers bring the camera, and we show the students all the different things. They get to be there with the camera. If you want to touch it, you can touch the camera, that kind of stuff, because we want the kids to have, the young people, not kids. Some are kids, but some are young adults. We want them to have hands-on experiences. Some are even older people. So like right now, we're helping with Malawala Balawala. You guys remember that popular show from the 80s? So we're getting ready to redo it. So Kulah Kamara, we've been working. We actually have the script ready now. GGG, the German Gina, he, myself, Van, and Kulah Kamara have been working. We've got this nice little script put together to bring back Malawala Balawala, where we can be teaching our culture through comedy, right? So the young people can see what we fell in love with all those years ago, which was the Malawala Balawala series. They don't know much about it, but we're going to bring that back. This is what we need to do. We need to train our filmmakers, no matter what. Even if you're out of the game for like 10 years, 15, 20 years, you can come back. Once that thing is in you, once you've studied something and it's become a part of you, it will always be with you. So, they got to be able to put that out there. So we're going to do the mixer on the 2nd. The festival itself is in June. We introduced last year, I think we introduced a drive-in movie. So we did it at the Era supermarket in the parking lot at nighttime.
Oh, that was you.
The movie. It was so
what are you not doing?
That was in Liberia.
I heard about it. It was amazing. I heard so many.
You heard about that? Was us.
Yeah.
It was really. There was a young lady. She was so instrumental. She was like, "We gotta do it, Dr. Kulah." When I got tired, she said, "We gotta do it." I said, "Okay, we're gonna do it." So we just kept going. That thing. It rained that night, but we still showed the film. It still turned out beautifully. And then we had young people bringing their products to sell. So they were the little vendors. They came in, were selling their food and their this.
That's
and that.
wonderful.
Nice. So, and we're doing it again. So we'll do the drive-in movie. It was the first time we had tried it. It worked out. So yeah, we're excited. So many different possibilities there.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Newton, before we go too far, you were talking about going to Mali, stamping the passport, doing this. I myself, I'm an American citizen and have been forever.
Mm-hmm.
But when dual citizenship passed, you better believe I got my Liberian passport. Okay, so what you do now, if you're going to go to Liberia, you don't need to get a visa because you have dual citizenship. So you use your Liberian passport from here to get you into Liberia. When you're coming back, you use your American passport to get back into America, and it's
Wow.
allowed because you have dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's not
My question about that, because let's say I'm going through
Brussels?
Morocco,
I do it all the time.
but then you're saying to use the Liberian passport from here.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that get me stuck on the airport in Morocco?
Oh, you mean because of that 12-hour
Yes.
thing that they do there?
That's why I think that's why people want to use their U.S. passport from here.
Yeah, that's only for Morocco. See, I go through Brussels, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
some
I don't
people
have-
go.
it's only
So-
Morocco because Morocco
Don't
makes
even
you
go.
sit there.
Don't even take Air Morocco again to go to Liberia, my friend. That plane is not.
Yeah,
I vowed not to ever. Even
because
take
you see like
free for
Ethiopia.
get inside.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I tried Ethiopian Airlines for the first time. Not saying I want to do it again because it's a very long flight, but I tried it for the first time recently. And when we got stuck in Ethiopia, even though I was using my Liberian passport, they put all of us in the hotel. No questions asked. But I know Morocco has that funny business. If you're
They will
U.S.
not put you-
citizen,
Morocco will not put you
yeah,
in
that's
hotel.
nonsense, man.
They will
That's
not put
nonsense.
So yeah, So if I'm using my U.S. passport from here and get to Liberia
You
and
have to
give
get
my
visa.
Liberian passport, I have to.
You have to show your point of embarkment
Okay.
when you're going. Liberia want to see that you left here, with the Liberian passport. That's how you traveled. Now, see, coming back, the U.S. side, when I get to America, I just give them my U.S. passport. They'll say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't see your point of embarkment. Did you travel on another passport?" You say yes, and they'll tell you to show your Liberian passport. You show it to them, and they'll see when you left Liberia, blah 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 blah, all the countries you came through, blah 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 blah. They'll stamp you, and you're back in the U.S.
This is very important.
Yeah, it's a good
because
information.
It's
Yeah.
a very good
But
information.
you see Dr. Kulah always going to Liberia. She was just there during the inauguration.
In January.
I think
They
you
give
hosted,
you pay
you hosted that show,
$150.
right? The culture.
No, me and Julie Indy, we did the one, the Kukatona
Yeah.
thing. Me, Julie Indy, and one of my other friends, Robina Vincent. So we did the show, and I did the production. So we had Providence Baptist Church, the spiritual dancers.
Yeah.
We represented the people that came from America. And then Julie Indy had the cultural troupe there, and they represented the people, the local Liberians. And then I had the movie union to come out. So the kids, the young people from the movie union, the actors and actresses, they were brilliant. Oh my gosh, they did the knots in the hair, the Bantu knots. They had it was beautiful. I should send you the video. Please share it with them. And so when we showed the local Liberians on ground, my mother had a fanner, she had a washboard, and she had a mortar. So I borrowed all those things, and that became our stage. So we're bringing fufu and dumba in the mortar. It was so cool. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And then before the Americans came, we did a song called "Oh Freedom" as an old Negro spiritual, where we had a kid who was in chains and shackles, and you're asking for that freedom, And then once they got the freedom, now they headed to Liberia on the ship. So we did the whole thing to narration. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the kids really enjoyed it.
Before we continue on this, let me say that usually I respect people's time and I give them the option when we reach certain time. So now we passed the 1 hour that I always aim for when I bring people. I'm having a great time with you. Trust me, if you want to stay, I will stay the whole time.
Yeah. Usually 1 hour is my limit, but myself, I'm enjoying myself. So we can continue.
All right. So now this is where I give you the options. When you're ready, when you feel like you are at that point, then you let us know. Then now it's in your hand.
Yeah, I can do another 30 minutes because tomorrow I'm performing with my daughter at with her dance. So we're about to have rehearsal.
Another 30 minutes.
Please don't mind these California people.
Yeah,
I know.
California.
It's
We
early
are
for them.
already.
you guys are in the future.
Yeah,
I know.
But that dual citizenship, you're looking into it. Using the passport has been a blessing because before other president left, they had stopped. They had closed down some of the visa locations. You had to send your passport to just a couple of places. I think only DC and New York, and that was causing a problem
I
because
just sent. We pay $640 for 4 visa
okay.
to go to Liberia.
Liberia, okay.
Yes.
Where did you send yours?
Washington D.C.
Yes. You see, because so now Washington has a lot of visas they have to give, because before that time,
long.
huh?
Don't it take long? No?
Yeah, sometimes, but you can do the overnight. See, like when Atlanta was still open and Minnesota was still open, there were less people sending their passports over there, because I'm in Atlanta, so I was getting my visa from Cynthia Bradford at the consulate's office. And then Jackson George was in Minnesota, so people could get their visas from him. But when they shut that down, more people started sending to DC and New York. So now it was taking a little bit longer. But, we're managing. But again, if you have your dual citizenship, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I think that's why I need to get my Liberian passport, because the one that I have is
how many years you get Liberian passport? Don't gonna be talking so like that.
Listen,
Jefferson, you're not alone. I need one too.
I know.
Like talking about how he enjoy, you want to go to Liberia.
No, don't worry, my sister.
He will enjoy himself.
Because of my sister, Dr. Kulah, I will go, because the kind of fun she's having in Liberia.
Marjorie, I won't lie to you. Let me tell you a funny story. What's this guy's name? During the bicentennial, the government brought he came to do like some recordings, right? Roland Martin, he's a big talk show host. So Roland Martin came to Liberia, and my cousin Hester and I would put a tour together for him at Libasa. When he got to Libasa, he said, quick, y'all take out the drone. Quick, y'all take out the drone. Because, the scenery at Libasa is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? It's an ecotourism thing. My friend Lisa owns it, she and her husband. So we went there. When you see that beach, oh, my goodness. You would not want to come back to America. The place is gorgeous. Gorgeous. So he started filming everything. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. So,
But
just bear in mind, there's some gorgeous things there to see.
I want to ask you a question. What do you have to tell people who haven't been to Liberia for a long time? I'm not talking about me, but I mean people who came here.
But I'm talking about you.
He won't put his business out there.
I'm on 17 years. I don't forget about me.
No, for me, I know the mindset that I have is different. Like when I'm going to Liberia, I know I'm not expecting a lot and something good, like I'm in Beverly Hills or Silver Lake. It's not the kind of mindset I'm taking to Liberia. But I'm talking about those that came here when they were baby, they're used to this environment. Going back home, how can they adjust? Like you can come here, you live in this place, there's a different environment. You go out there, you think about LEC situation, you talk about sanitation problem, getting stuck in traffic. What can you tell them? How can they adjust to that?
The same thing I told my children. I said, "You're ready for this trip?" They said they were too excited for the trip because we had talked about Liberia so much, and I think for them that was the thing, because we talked about it so much. It was like an easy transition. But for anybody who is not exposed to people just kind of constantly telling you about Liberia, when you go, just go with an open mind. This is my home. This is where I come from. Even if let's say you're an African American, it's your first time going. I've taken many African Americans there, and they go I tell them, come with an open mind. And when we get there, what I try to do, I try not to do too much in the city, okay? Because there are other places on the outskirts. Everybody just think Liberia is Monrovia. Liberia is not Monrovia. What about all the beautiful places in Bassa, in Margibi County, in all these different counties? What about Patawi Waterfall?
Yeah.
All those places are beautiful. So I try not to limit them, because you only see that kind of plenty traffic in Monrovia. Let's be honest. And I don't want you to see traffic. So we get up early in the morning, we go to town, we do all our business. By 1:30, 2 o'clock, we headed back to Margibi County, because my place, we have a little bed and breakfast right near the airport. We start heading back around 2, 3 o'clock, so that we beat traffic going in the morning, we beat traffic coming back. So that takes care of your little traffic problem, right? Then you make sure you take them to the outskirts of Monrovia, not just Monrovia, everyday Monrovia. Take them all around. We go to when we are in Monrovia, I take them to Bella Casa, which is Umba Ami Modad. Beautiful place. The scenery is good. The restaurant has good food. You get to sit outside on the porch and you can see Monrovia.
Very nice place.
It's a very nice place. Yeah. So I always go. I try to patronize everybody. there's a new place that Lester owns, Calabash.
Oh
That's
yeah,
another place.
my sister always talk about that place.
Yeah,
Oh, we
man.
can go to
Summertown Back
Calabash.
Road. That's the place. On Friday nights, hey, the whole place can be on fire. It could just
Hopefully
be
can be on
the
fire.
whole place can
That
be
too.
jam packed. You can't even pass on the road. So
Yeah.
Liberians are doing things on ground. You understand what I'm saying? So they can have the nightlife in a safe place. Like when I take them to Calabash, nothing bad happens there. I mean, it's in a nice neighborhood. You park your car, you go inside, you can dance. The music is good. The food is excellent. You know, so you have all of these different things. So talk to them about it. Talk to them about Bob Johnson's old place, the guy that used to own BT.
Oh,
What is it called?
Keneja.
Keneja. So now there's a Ghanaian family running it, and Keneja, you know, it's doing good. I still go there. You know, the beach is just amazing. When we shot Providence, we shot on that beach. So, oh hi, look at the baby. So there's a lot of things you can just tell them. Just tell them to have an open mind.
Yeah.
And when you do take them, give them places that will stick in their minds. Will stick out in their minds. Take them on tours. Providence Island, Providence Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Where you can take a tour of the church and see all the beautiful, the old pews that are still there. You know, the names of all the people that helped to start the church.
Yeah.
Everything is there. The Declaration of Independence was signed there. You know, the flag was made in that building.
Yeah.
Huh?
My sister.
I have a question. Dr. Kulah says something regarding the question I was going to ask. I know I was coming up in Liberia. During my time, Providence Island wasn't even updated, so I don't even know how it looks like right now. Is there anything that the government or, you know, the Tory?
We're working on some things. Things are being worked on. The only thing about Providence Island, so we need that place to be what they call a heritage site. So like UNESCO can make it a heritage site. The only problem there is it has to look like the original Providence Island. You see, and the Gabriel Tucker Bridge runs through the island. So you would have to remove that bridge, which still can be done. It can just be rerouted somewhere else. If that bridge was not there, it could become a UNESCO heritage site, which would really give it notoriety around the world and bring more people in to the country to see. So that's one of the things that I have been spending a lot of time researching. What can we do to make this into a heritage site? Because if it was, I'm telling you, we wouldn't have to even worry.
Having one bridge there around there would be a problem, because it's like the traffic around there is always crazy. So
that's what I'm saying. You take that bridge and divert it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think this is something now people close to the president, or if you happen to talk to those close to the president or talk to the president himself, because the Japanese government has mentioned that.
Yes.
So that's something. Could be the opportunity to divert that bridge around the island rather than
I told somebody that already. I told somebody that I said we really need to see how that big bridge can be diverted, because it would help if you can take it around.
My question. I was living in San Diego. You know, there are a lot of beaches in San Diego. I used to go out all the time to the beach, and there is this pier where they had this old Spanish, not the ship is not old, it was rebuilt, but it has restaurant on it. You know, you go on the boat, the ship, the way back ship. And it used to bring my mind back when we talk about the Mayflower, the ship that took the people back to Liberia.
Yeah.
And you know, and always I was thinking like, wow, could they build something like this right by Providence Island?
Something is already there. There is a ship, a part of it, the ship is said to be a part of the ship from before. So, like I said, once this tourism thing is separated, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
awesome.
We'll all be proud of.
What I wanted to add to Kote is that so the tourism industry in a lot of the countries in Africa, of course, are poor, but the tourism bring a lot of money to the country. So I think I applaud you for trying to bring as much to create awareness for people to know Liberia and for people to go visit and to be safe. I think the most, but sometimes the security issues is what sometimes the negative part that people portray of Africa is different from the real Africa. Like me, I go to Liberia every year since I get to find my family. I go there every year, but a lot of the things you say and the thing that I don't do, I just go for business.
Yeah,
So
exactly. They leave. Yeah.
just come back, go do
Yeah.
business, come back. So
Yeah.
I think this is good. But I think with the people
Mhm.
around you and closer to the president, hopefully they listen to us, or maybe as you have conversation with people to kind of continue to do the awareness to bring
Mhm.
people into Liberia. Tourism is a huge business in a
Huge
lot of the
business. Yeah.
world, a lot of the places, and people make money. And this will give some other revenue to the
Mhm.
Liberian government from that way
Yes.
since they
Oh yeah.
separated. So I'm glad that we have somebody with that kind of education and that kind of mindset to be able
Mhm.
to help, because I think this
Yeah.
will help our country. So they don't give up in everything we do. I mean, I don't need to
Mhm.
lecture you, but what I
Yeah.
always say to the people who I work with, to the people
Mhm.
who I lead, no matter how old you are on the job, whether you've been there for 10 years, you still need to learn, you still need
Oh
to
yes.
so you can keep up.
Mhm.
So my
Yeah.
little advice would be, don't ever give up. There will
Yeah.
always be struggle. Things will always be
Mhm.
hard.
Mhm.
You already have your heart and love for Liberia, and you
Yeah.
inspired me to even love Liberia more.
Yay.
And
So
one thing I wanted to add to you too, my brother.
yeah,
You know, we are encouraging her to keep pushing, but one thing I always want to encourage the like-minded Liberians and Liberians who really
Mhm.
care about the country. We shouldn't just sit back and say, for you, I know you are there, you are very supportive for everything because you've been very supportive of my channel. But I'm saying this to all Liberians. We shouldn't just encourage the person to say, keep doing it, because doing these things, it's very hard. Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot of work.
It
Let
is.
us all support. Let us all
Yeah.
help. I mean, having this kind of conversation helps.
Mhm.
For those that are watching, promote this sister, promote her business. Even if she's doing the show, go there. Even if you know that you don't, even if you don't know anything about it, just go there. You will
Mhm.
learn
Yeah.
something. Let's
Mhm.
support each other. I think
Yeah,
this is
that's the
the
key.
person we need to support, because I want
Mhm.
one thing I know, to be honest with you, we've been talking about all the butter and bread thing, but some of the thing that we struggle with, some of us, is that when you're doing something, it's hard for Liberian to get
That's a
involved to
fact.
want to
Yeah.
help you.
Mhm.
But when it comes to politics, they'll say, "Oh, the man
Oh.
running for office, let me go support him," and that's
Yeah.
the down part of things. There's
Mhm.
someone like Newton Bowie, someone like Prince Akbar, and even my sister Faith, that
Mhm.
are very supportive in a sense. I think we would take Liberia on the next level,
Oh
because
yes, for sure.
if people were involved with you, they want to help, they want to
Mhm.
support you, they want to volunteer. I can even be in Liberia and volunteer my time on some of the things that you are doing, because I
Mhm.
want you to succeed.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so
Thank
I
you.
just encourage Liberian, let keep supporting each other. You shouldn't
Mhm.
sit back and say, "Oh, the sister put on the show," but the show is not what I would see on at Staples Center. Why didn't you go and give your help so that it can be better? Why didn't you go and
That's it.
give your
Yeah.
suggestion? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and for us in the diaspora, it really it behooves us to try our best to help, because like on ground Liberia, you've got people like Hester Baker, who is well versed in tourism. So she's heading a lot of the tourism projects in Liberia. You've got people like May Ewe, who is the president of the Tourism Association. And I think there's a second association, Mr. Dunbar runs another tourism outfit there. So you've got all these people already working. So those of us in the diaspora who can add to that, which
yeah.
is what I try to do. I add by trying to bring my people
Hmm.
to Liberia. So if I have something, I'll call. I say, "Oh, Hester, oh, Mrs. Ure, I've got a group of people I'm bringing to Liberia. I'm putting a tour package together. There's a guy, Mr. Ambrose. He's an older gentleman. He gives the tours. I might call him and say, okay, I need such and such and such. Can you know what I mean? Can you be ready on this day to take my people on a tour?" And then I call the people that owns the buses. Oh, I need to rent a bus for the day because I'm taking my people here. I call Reverend Reeves and I say, oh, can we have Providence Baptist Church open so that people can take a tour in the church and see what that's about?
Yeah.
All that stuff. Because even Linda Thomas Greenfield, on this last trip to Liberia, she's very closely connected with Providence Baptist Church. She brought her people that came with her to Liberia for the inauguration. She brought them to Providence Baptist Church. They had a
Okay.
private tour. So they were able to, see the old church sitting there. He gave the history, which is what I do with my people that I bring from here. So if we see these people on the ground working in tourism and we're in the diaspora, we know we can put groups of people together. Let's do it. Let's bring those people there.
Yeah.
Let's educate them. Call me up. Dr. Kulah, I got a group of people that want to go. Can you educate them? I'll talk to them about Liberia, how to get the visa, how to do the malaria pills. I give them the whole 9 so they don't need anything.
Yeah.
And then all they have to do, because it's like a load that's been lifted, when you're
Mm-hmm.
traveling, you don't have to do all these extra things.
Yeah.
So that's how I come in. And then when I bring them to Liberia, my people on ground already, we have these activities. Let's go do it. And we all go. We have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
We have an absolutely
And,
wonderful
and
time.
I'm glad you are connecting. You're connecting with other people too, because
Oh,
I don't want to be the guy who saying negative thing. But one thing that I want to point out are some of the issues that we have, and one of the issues is sometimes when you're trying to work with our people, sometimes it can be hard. But finding somebody like yourself. Finding somebody like yourself who want to connect with other Liberian, like-minded Liberian, that's just how you get your thing going. Because in the US, even all the production we do, there are so many people that are involved in the production. I can't make movie by myself, or you and I can make movie by ourselves. We always have people, different and people. I was on the Amazon Music Live, and we have different production companies, sound companies, video company, lighting company. They all join to get involved in that. It's not just one production company that
you can't do it just one. You gotta put put ourselves together.
Even with movies, when I was doing 3D and special effect, Jefferson, I'm hoping to get back in this year. My brother Prince Way.
I'm glad I inspire you.
My brother Prince Way was doing a movie, called Muda and had this gun scene where the person shooting at night, shooting someone. And he sent me the clip and said, bro, take a look. What do you think? So I looked at it and was like, the scene is great. The shot is great. But one thing, it's not a real gun, of course, in the movie. I started telling him, I said, from a special effect point of view, you are missing when the muzzle flash, there should be a reflection. And he said, well, I'm not a 3D or special effect person, so can you help? And that's how I jumped on his production immediately, did that scene for him. He was doing another movie, about an old musician trying to do a concert. And he called me and he said, hey, bro, I want to do this movie, and it's going to be a concert for a top artist who went down and want to come back. And so it's going to be a concert, but no budget. This is a very low budget film. And, so we're trying to set up a restaurant. And I said, wait. What you mean restaurant? This is like Nigerian movie describing. When you talk about an American, because it was an American movie, I said, when you talk about that, you want the artist to perform on a live stage in front of millions of people. He said, well, I don't have that type of budget. I said, okay. And I was able to help. It wasn't my film. I had an idea and I could contribute. We did that. I told him what to do on the green screen. Shoot on the green screen. I was able to create the crowds and everything. And we did when Liberians and people start working together, it helps a lot.
Yeah, it really does.
In every way, it helps. I'm always hoping to want to work, with different people and helping in different ways. And
the thing is, the thing is that what you guys need to know in the real world, networking. Sometimes even in America, people will post job. When the company posts a job, sometimes they already get somebody for that job.
But the inside, of course.
Okay? They're just putting it out there so people can. So networking is important. I know like the people in Liberia, sometimes they are threatened. Sometimes when you're educated and you have experience and you go to Liberia to go help, the people don't want to bring you in because they feel like maybe you're going to take their job and stuff. But networking is very important.
Very important.
I used to go to school in Hawaii. I went to BYU Hawaii. If you see the movie Tears of the Sun, was made in Hawaii. It's a Nigerian movie. A lot of people with
Bruce Willis.
Yes. They pay us to go over there to participate. There were just a lot of people they brought a lot of Sudanese. But if you watch the movie, you think the movie was made in Africa, but it was right here. It was right here. So, like Dr. Kulah, I think she has the connection, and I think for me, I would really love to talk to Prince to get your contact later. So
please, you can get it.
I can keep in touch. I would love to attend the festival next year because I'm already going to Liberia in March. I'll be there. I'll be there on Friday. But I just want to say thank you for the wisdom and for all the great things you are doing. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and I will keep in touch and continue to inspire our people.
Thank you.
And networking is the key. You know,
It is.
we don't let to support African in general. They really don't let to support each other, but
Yeah.
they can be motivated by other people.
All the people. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, about the way the people do things, and then you get to know other people. We all can work together. So I gotta go, but I just wanted to say thank you very much. I have
And
learned a
thank
lot.
you.
I will ask Jefferson for your contact.
Yes.
So I can keep in contact. And then when you come to Utah, anytime 2-3 years from
We'll
now,
look for you.
festival, just say, hey,
Okay.
Newton, I'm going to be in your town. And I got you. So this is a good networking, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you guys on the show. Mrs. Faye, nice knowing you. Thank you. Jefferson,
Always.
a lot of good things about you. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm not talking about Prince because he's the Igwe. So he's the
Igwe.
yeah, I'm very honored to be among great Liberians with wonderful ideas. I have learned a lot today that I have never learned in my
I'm
life.
telling you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate
Now
it.
you guys will make me bring her all the time. I'll be just
Yeah, you see, Joe.
I'll be like, you gotta come on the show again. Every time you go to Liberia, you come back and say, do you have at least 10 minutes to come?
Yeah, I know.
We gotta learn. We gotta learn.
We
There's
gotta
so
learn.
many. Yeah.
Kulah on the list. You need to put Dr. Kulah on the list.
I know.
Are you free? That all you gotta say. You know, she's
Yeah.
No, no problem.
5 minutes. That's all.
Yeah.
I just want 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No problem.
When she come back from Qatar, please bring her on the show so she can tell how
So I will let you know all the happenings in Qatar. Yeah.
So thank
But
you.
the funny thing you I know you got to go when you talk about the networking is so key because even with the movie Providence we shot it. Christabel came from the UK to Liberia with us, and he was a DP. On the US side, Gerald Barkley. I don't know if you guys know Gerald Barkley. He's a good, he's been shooting here for a long time. He's got some documentaries of the Wu-Tang Clan and some other things on Liberia. So he did some scenes. He did some green screen scenes for us. When we did the news in the movie, we had a newscast going on because we wanted to show a little bit of the war, the coup d'etat, all that stuff. So we had to put it on the TV screen. Gerald took care of all of that, and we networked together. Then he did a movie called Fatima Revenge. So he had called me up. He says, "Oh, I got this movie here. I'm trying to finish the script. Come, let's reason together." We sat there, we finished the script together, and we went into production. It was wonderful. But we were all networking. Nobody was after their friend. Oh, go and bring me $1 million. Oh,
That is
everybody was just working together, and both films turned out beautifully, beautifully done. Films that talk about Liberia. So, it's very important that we network. So definitely, Mr. Newton, we exchange phone numbers through our guy here, and then we can keep in touch and see, how best
I will.
we can get this
Thank
done.
you.
But when in March are you going to Liberia? When will you get there?
I actually leave on the 1st. I will be there on Sunday the 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's the day I'll be leaving. So as you're coming, I'm leaving.
Yeah. We leave Friday. We leave on Saturday. And then we get there Sunday, 8:30 p.m. at night.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, thank you, my friend, for coming. Thank you for always showing up. I really appreciate you.
That's awesome. Yeah. And now we'll talk later.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dr. Kulah, I know you were talking about the movie Providence, which you made with all these celebrities. But one thing I want to also do, I want us to promote it a little bit too. Where can people find the movie? If they
So
want to watch
right now, because the goal for Providence really was to educate people outside of Liberia about some things that, some little stories from Liberia. Yeah. So as we anticipated the bicentennial, as we was getting ready. So it accomplished its goal. I was able to train a lot of people. We do this thing every year. We show the film, and it's called Bridging the Gap Between African and African Americans. So we bring Africans and African Americans together. We see how we can bridge that gap. So now we're done with all of those talks. So it should be coming to Tubi pretty soon. We're working on that right now. It's probably going to be on Tubi. I have another movie on Tubi that's doing very, very well. We shot that one with Columbus Short.
I know him from
Exactly. That one's on Tubi right now, but I know Providence should be coming to Tubi soon. And then we got a couple of other things coming down the pipe.
What's the other movie, just in case people want to go watch it?
The other one is called The Bargain. The Bargain.
Okay.
The Bargain. I'm writing all these movies there.
Yeah, so you check it out. You'll like it. You'll like that one. That one is woman empowerment. The Bargain. you will love it. But so one of the things, we got 2 movies coming out. two series we're trying to work on right now. And one of them is actually about the history of Liberia itself.
Wow.
I'm very excited about that. I can't say too much about it because it's still in
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
still working.
please.
But it's something that I'm very proud of because it's going to capture the essence of the people from the 1800s, the ones that were on ground, the ones that came on the ship, all of them coming together as one people. So that's a very exciting project. And then we have another one about music that I can't say much about either. I think that may be shot. Some parts will be shot in the UK, some parts will be shot here, in different places. So you guys will like these two that I'm telling you about. So just keep your eyes and ears open, and I'll bring you guys more information as I know more. But it's gonna be great.
If somebody wanted to follow you, we are reaching the point now where we want people only if you want to.
I don't even know how to do all that following business. My children said it's too ancient.
Because
I know I have Instagram, but I couldn't even tell you what it was. What I will do, if I can find it later, I will send it to you. But I can't remember.
Because what I was trying to say is that just for if people wanted to keep up to date of things that you are doing, maybe if that's a website or places they can follow you. But if you want, you can send it later. Then we can.
I can say I do have a website, and I can send you that later, and I can send you my Facebook page, and then when I figure out my Instagram page, I'll send you that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do you want to say something, my sister? For me, I always keep my eyes on you. I don't want you to say.
I'm really, really.
You can see the smile of fish. She's enjoying our conversation.
He knows me. I'm a person I take in. I love to take in great information because it's very useful. Knowledge is empowering. So all the questions would I ask, you already answering them because my next mentorship, because mentorship is so important.
It is.
Social service, that is important. You can never stop gaining wisdom. And as I'm listening to you, I'm like, how can she mentor me in certain ways? So
take my number, call me. We'll find some kind of way for us to get
together. You would like to talk to her because let me tell you this, Dr. Kulah, this sister, she has a lot of things going. And sometimes when we are talking, I'll be asking her, but how do you do it? How you guys do it? She and her husband. She was telling me how she has a catering business. I've seen a lot of pictures. But her clothes, if you see her clothes, like you can find the clothes around Rodale Drive. I mean, nice party clothing. They blow my mind. I will start posting them soon. You guys.
Let me tell you, I just talked to a friend of mine who's a designer here, to a Liberian designer, and I was just encouraging her today that she should come to Liberia if she wants to do a show. Maybe we need to get the two of you together. You can plan something, and then maybe put you in touch with a designer on ground that maybe we can all work together. Do a nice fashion show. Let people see what you guys have to offer.
If you see her clothes, her clothes will blow your mind. But what I would do, I'll connect the both of you. So that you guys can get in touch with each other and talk. But I think it would be good to have that connection with each other.
Perfect.
And a catering business that he so much intrigued about. As I'm saying, I'm so glad. I can smell the aroma in my house right now because it smells like coconut cookies. All I've been making like coconut cookies. So I do all of our snacks. From the day, from back then when we're coming up, all our coconut candy, all the things that we grew up with doing recess time, you run outside to go milk candy and all that. So because
you should try to harness that thing and put it on what's it called? Amazon. I saw somebody buy them all on Amazon the other day. They had some kind of red oil and somebody had pepper in the jar, pepper sauce. I said, it's on Amazon. You might be able to do your tricks.
Everything. So definitely I'm gonna be reaching out to you because like I said, you cannot stop gaining knowledge. Definitely. And I appreciate you. I'm learning so much about my country. Wow.
I'm glad.
Because the kids always asking, Mommy, how is this? How is that? And I'm like, let's go do research.
Well, y'all ready to bring them? They will learn. They will love it. They will absolutely love it.
I don't know if we asked that question already, but if we maybe I wanted to ask, what do you have to tell other Liberian in the US and other places that just thinking about, man, I want to go there, but I'm still thinking about it, the kind of mindset. What
all I can say is just come. You're in for a treat. And when you come, don't just stay in the house.
Mhm.
ask about some tours. Go and see the other places. Because like I keep saying, Liberia is not just Monrovia. We have to branch out. Get out of Monrovia, go to the other places, visit the other towns. I mean, there are some places in Liberia that will blow your mind. There are some places that will blow your mind. I saw one place, I think it's in Lofa, where they build the place that they will sleep. It's like a teepee.
Mhm.
Oh, the thing is just amazing. Then you got the Sapo rainforest where you can see all the
Oh yeah,
different
Sapo National
animals.
Park.
We don't even talk about those things. I mean,
Yeah,
oh my goodness, there's just so much to do there. We just have to be willing to branch out and not just stay
yeah,
in Monrovia. Because
yeah.
I think that's what's holding us back is this business of staying in Monrovia whole day. So
Right.
just let's get out and see Liberia for ourselves.
Yeah. And that's what I always say, Liberia. I'm glad people like you are stepping in to do this. And I think Liberia need influencer, people that will, a lot of people, some of the people that are watching this show, I received some texts already saying that, man, we wish we have somebody like this who will be teaching us these things, because a lot of time all people here is, I'm gonna keep saying this because it bothers me a lot. All people here is politics. I met some celebrities. I met some celebrity who I will be talking. They'll say, "Man, I never used to know Liberia until I only know about the war. I know about this. I didn't know nothing about Liberia. But thank you for telling me." And I think if we can be those people that will continue to promote Liberia in some ways and start encouraging people back home to do the same, and have this type of platform, this type of conversation, I think a lot of people will learn, things will change. Because when I started on YouTube a long time ago, when I started the channel, it was more about paying somebody back home, go around, show Monrovia and other surrounding area. And that's all we were doing, because at that time on YouTube, if you Google Liberia, you only see the wall pictures and stuff. And that was the time that I decided that, you know what, I want to create a platform that would just show Monrovia, show Liberia. It was challenging because I wasn't there, but I'm glad there, because there are a lot of people that reach out to me and say, Jefferson, I'm glad you're there because of you. I got to see what was going on at the time, how the place looked. So I'm very excited for you, Dr. Kulah. Is that something, maybe the friends they can ask you something too, but is that something you want to?
Just to quickly, please, excuse me, Tata Kulah, thank you so much. You know, I learned a whole lot today. I wish I've come on sooner, because I know you gave a lot of information from the very beginning too. But we will catch up. I will try again to reach out.
And you are in my town, so you might reach out.
Yeah, I will. You know, there are so much you're doing that I know I can contribute to as well. Yeah. I have to run.
Myself.
I'm working at the same time.
We are done.
We're done.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you to all of you guys. I had fun. This was fun.
So that's the final thing you want to say before we go?
Who, me?
Yeah. Do you have
well, thank you for the platform. I'm glad I said yes. I'm glad you asked me, and I'm glad I said yes, and we were able to get together. And I'm glad of the panel that you put together of people who want to talk about Liberia. You know, some people, like you say, who just want to do the politicking. Me, I love talking about Liberia, so I'm glad that everybody on here today were people who are genuinely interested in our country, to see what we're doing there, all of that. And I just want to encourage all of us. Y'all try harder between this year and next year. I'll come to Liberia. That's all I have to say. Yes.
We have to get Jefferson pushing on the plane. Every year we talk about going. It's like this year he's planning this year again. So thank God you get connected to Dr. Kulah, because you're gonna help me.
Come in June. You can come to the film festival. You will love it. Come to the festival.
That's the sister that will take me to Liberia for sure, because she care about Liberia a lot. But I want to say thank you too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. If I can get people like you coming on this platform, I mean, we can all teach people together. We can teach ourselves too. So I appreciate you. But guys, thank you so much for coming. Everybody,
thank you again. You have a blessed night.
And you too. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.